Here's an AMI Continental jukebox before repair. This is my first time looking at this unit, so I'm going to just try to see what might need to be replaced on it. Take a look at the front here. It was very well protected by the client that brought it to us for repair. It's very similar to a model that South JK has, and South JK's I think is the Model K. So I'm going to work on South JK's as well, because it was having a problem with these switches here, the setting of those cam switches there. So along with getting this one working right, we'll also get South JK's going. And one problem I noticed first off is this belt here, and the purpose of that belt is to support the records on the carousel as it goes around. Looks like the belt has deteriorated, and it's kind of slipped off of the carousel so that records had fallen down. We need to get those records out of those slots. Looks like the ballasts still have the cloth type wiring on them, so I think I'll go ahead and upgrade the ballast to some new ones with plastic insulation on the wires, just to make sure there's no shorts due to brittleness. These wires look okay now, but the ballasts are not that expensive, so I'll just go ahead and redo those. A lot of the times due to heat, this wire gets really brittle and you actually can end up with shorts at the ballast. Also, I think I'll get rid of these butt connectors to the starters and go ahead and solder those and insulate with heat shrink tubing. Here's the amp, and there's the power transformer for the control electronics. Looks like we've got brittle wiring here. You can see here that it's just really crunchy, crispy wiring. And brittle wiring is always a problem in jukeboxes. Almost all jukeboxes seem to have problems with that. So we're going to have to redo all that wiring. And too often, and here's another ballast pack here, and they just kind of did some butt connectors on there, and it's still got the old cloth covered wires, so we'll just go to totally new ballast. My goodness, this thing has got 5 ballasts in it. Okay, it's got these little tiny fluorescent tubes in it. I've never worked on one of these models before. I have worked on the Model K, which is mechanically very similar, but I think due to the unique characteristics of the style of this Continental model, it's got just some more complicated things like these very small fluorescent tubes, and they got some butt connectors on there too, so we'll redo those. This looks like this wiring here is very brittle, so I definitely need to replace that. Too often I see things that are just sort of a patch-up job on these to get them going, and while it may get them working again, it's not a safe thing to do. Maybe this was repaired back in the 70s or something and these hadn't started to disintegrate yet, but I've had cases of, back when I was a kid, had cases of power cords short out that had that old brittle wiring in it. So ever since then, I don't mess around with old wiring at all. We just replace all of it. And the power cord has been cut, but it looks like it's in real good shape. It just needs the stuff replaced that disintegrates due to age, and looks like it's been in a very clean environment. Sometimes jukeboxes have just been in awful, muddy, greasy, dirty environments where everything is just covered with junk. So we'll just have to get everything off of this and probably needs new caps in the amp. I doubt that it's been recapped, although it may have been, because there's some notes on the wires there. So we'll just see. Sometimes when these have had caps replaced, they haven't had them all replaced, and I just like to replace them all just to be sure you don't get any problems cropping up. But one of the biggest problems I see here is this wiring, and it looks like this amp may have had some work done on it. It's got a pretty recent power cord on it. What might have been done on this is it might have been sent out to an amp rebuilding service, but of course I'll just double check what they did and make sure that it meets up with my standards. So there's kind of the way the AMI Continental is. We know we've got bad wiring. We know we need a new belt on there to support the records. And here's the top part. There's the mechanism there. Probably need to clean and degrease it and re-lubricate it. But maybe this, if the mechanism's in a little bit better adjustment, maybe this one can serve as kind of a standard so I can get South JK's aligned the way it should be. And I guess this probably would have had a circular glass or a hemispherical glass dome on it. Would have had to have something on there to protect the mechanism, and I guess that dome is just missing. So there's the AMI Continental. Every day I'll just try to do a little bit more work on it, and we'll eventually get it all restored like it should be.